Was virtually unknown to American audiences when he inherited that seat from Jon Stewart in September of 2015. Since then, the South African comedian has made the nightly topical show his own, even while hosting this year from a corner of his New York City apartment. As Noah and his Daily Show team consider when to move back into the studio, Noah announced this week he will return to the road this fall for a stand-up comedy tour. Meanwhile, his 2016 memoir, Born a Crime, remains a phenomenon. This morning, it sits at number 3 on the New York Times nonfiction paperback bestsellers list, nearly 5 years after its release, with a movie version on the way. Trevor and I got together on a steamy New York City day for a Sunday sit-down in the park just across the street from his Daily Show studio.
This literally feels like a different life.
Yeah.
I feel like you're interviewing me post the Daily Show right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Even with the worst of the pandemic behind us, hopefully, Trevor Noah is not quite ready to give up his new, much shorter commute. But there are signs of a return to pre-pandemic life all around him.
You demanded, it was in a note that you wrote, hand wrote.
Yes.
I have to be in front of a billboard of myself.
Well, what I like is to have a billboard to remind me that I did have some semblance of a professional job before the pandemic. So I like to have that as a reminder for myself.
From Trevor's couch in New York City to your couch
Right now, we don't know when we're going to go back to the studio.
Broadcasting The Daily Show alone in his apartment.
We are friends now.
It's the weekend, baby!
Imagine all the people.
Imagine you shut the up!
And trading his suit and tie for something more comfortable.
I feel like I owe you, the viewers of The Daily Show, an explanation. I'm referring, of course, to my hoodies.
There's hoodies in every nook and cranny of my cupboard. There's just hoodies everywhere.
Showing up.
Everywhere. But in many ways, the hoodie has become, you know, the uniform that I don for this period of time. It's become, you know, It's become my little safety blanket. It's how I've created a sense of normalcy in a world that is completely abnormal right now.
How do you adjust that doing a late night comedy show where you're in a little nook in your apartment?
I adjust it because I have to. I found as a performer, I had to find a different gear, a different conversation that I would be having with an audience. I think of one person, think of one set of eyes, one almost like collective idea of a human being who watches my show. And it's almost the imprint from all the people who came to the studio.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, that person is here now. I'm talking to them. What would I like to say to them? Now, please remember, guys, while some of us are stressing at home about what show to binge next on Netflix, hospitals have a real issue on their hands.
When you and I talked, I think it was about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
we were in that studio, and you said...
Because at the end of the day, if the Daily Show is not funny and entertaining, then I don't think I'm doing my job.
So how do you navigate those heavy issues and those heavy moments in our society and still be funny about it in the way you've been for the last year and change?
I ask myself what the purpose of that funny is. And I think that's something that during the pandemic I've really crystallized in myself as a human being. I use humor as a coping mechanism, as a pressure release valve. And so what I'm really trying to do now is say to an audience, tune into my show. If you would like to be kept abreast of what's happening in the world, and if you don't want to feel like it's all doom and gloom, because I don't believe it is.
But Noah knows comedy is not a cure-all. Last spring, with the country rising up in the wake of George Floyd's murder, and with The Daily Show on hiatus,
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Noah took to social media to express his thoughts on racism in America.
What's really interesting about what's happening in America right now is that a lot of people don't seem to realize how dominoes connect. When George Floyd was murdered, I was actually grateful for the fact that I wasn't on air, because I now didn't have to react to what was happening, but I could observe. I could listen to people. I could see what was happening. And I didn't have to immediately say something about it or even feel like I had to say something about it. One ray of sunshine for me in that moment was seeing how many people instantly condemned what they saw. I'm not trying to even find the funny. I'm trying to find the honesty. I think in many ways we've become a society that's good at shouting
And I don't think people shouldn't have opinions, but man, we should get better at having conversations about those opinions.
Joe Biden is so lucky. All he has to do is have a vaccine plan and not lie for 10 minutes. And he's basically what, the next George Washington?
In a new administration, Noah now dedicates less of the show to the president's daily tweets and more to topics like climate change, gender discrimination, and recent violence against Asian Americans.
Biden delivered on one thing that he promised on, and that was he's going to be the president that nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
That's been great, because now we get to delve into issues that affect everybody. There are still people who are struggling. That will always happen from administration to administration, so I think it goes beyond politics.
There's one man who came up to me after a show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, when Donald Trump says all these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism?
Born in apartheid South Africa to a black mother and a white father, Noah's complicated childhood often is the subject of his stand-up comedy and of his wildly popular memoir, Born a Crime. Now the bestseller is getting the Hollywood treatment, with help from Noah's production company and a cast that includes Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o.
Your mother must be pleased that Lupita's playing her.
What's interesting, so my mom doesn't care for celebrity at all. And so I'm like, someone's going to be acting you. And she goes, who? And I go like, oh, Lupita Nyong'o. And she's like, who's that? I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you a picture, and this is her. And she's like, oh, okay, no, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm happy that it's an African woman because I'm an African woman. And I was like, did you think I was going to ask Julia Roberts to play you? Like, what? But my mom is just like, man, she's just simple and living her life. It's like getting used to a thing again.
Did you hear a group of people responding to your jokes?
That would be interesting to feel.
The Daily Show has not yet announced plans to return to the studio, but Noah will reconnect with fans in a multi-city stand-up tour this fall.
You got it? You got it?
If not before.
Who's not in? If you can't see the camera, it can't see you. Well, how many times have we taken for granted a space where hundreds or even thousands of people can come together for the purpose of laughing, Willie? Man, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now.
Trevor's Back to Abnormal stand-up tour kicks off in Santa Barbara, California in September. Tickets are on sale now. The Daily Show is on hiatus for the summer and returns to Comedy Central in the fall with new episodes and perhaps that studio audience. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Sit Down podcast to hear the full-length interview with Trevor Noah. You can find it on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get yours.